Right now, you are breathing. You have been breathing every single minute of your life, roughly 20,000 times a day, over 500 million breaths since you were born. And the uncomfortable truth is that most of them have been wrong. Not slightly wrong, fundamentally wrong. Wrong in a way that is quietly affecting your sleep, your focus, your anxiety, your heart, and your jaw. And nobody ever taught you how to fix it. Here is the problem. Somewhere along the way, and researchers believe it happened gradually over the last few centuries, humans shifted from breathing through their nose to breathing through their mouth. It sounds trivial. It is not. The nose and the mouth are not interchangeable. They are completely different systems built for completely different jobs. Your nose is a feat of biological engineering. It filters incoming air, removing dust, bacteria, and particles before they ever reach your lungs. It humidifies the air, warming it to exactly the right temperature for your respiratory system to absorb. It produces nitric oxide, a molecule so important that the scientists who discovered its role in the body won the Nobel Prize in 1998. Nitric oxide dilates your blood vessels, increases oxygen uptake, and kills pathogens on contact. Your mouth does none of this. Your mouth is for eating and speaking. When you breathe through it, you bypass every single one of those protective systems. You pull in cold, dry, unfiltered air. You lose nitric oxide. You hyperventilate without knowing it. Pulmonologist Jayakar Nayak at Stanford has studied nasal breathing extensively and describes the nose as the body's first line of respiratory defense. When you skip it, you are skipping the filter, but it goes deeper than filtration. When you breathe through your mouth, you tend to breathe faster, shallower. You use the top of your lungs instead of the bottom. And the bottom of your lungs is where the majority of your oxygen-absorbing blood vessels are concentrated. You are filling the wrong end of a container. This matters because of a counterintuitive rule called the Bohr Effect, described by Danish physiologist Christian Bohr in 1904. The Bohr Effect tells us that oxygen delivery to your cells is not controlled by how much oxygen is in your blood. It is controlled by how much carbon dioxide is there. Carbon dioxide is not just a waste gas. It is the trigger that causes your red blood cells to release oxygen to your tissues. When you breathe too fast, which mouth breathers almost always do, you exhale too much carbon dioxide. Your blood carbon dioxide drops. Your red blood cells hold onto their oxygen instead of releasing it. And your cells, despite your blood being full of oxygen, actually receive less of it. You are breathing more and getting less. Researcher and author James Nestor spent years investigating breathing science and documented what happened when subjects were forced to breathe exclusively through their mouths for just 10 days. Blood pressure rose, snoring increased dramatically, sleep quality collapsed, stress hormones climbed. 10 days of mouth breathing produced measurable physiological deterioration across almost every system studied. Then they switched to nasal breathing only for 10 days. Every single marker reversed. Your body knows how to breathe. The pattern is ancient, slow, nasal, diaphragmatic, using the full dome of your diaphragm to pull air deep into the base of the lungs. Babies do it instinctively. Watch an infant sleep and you will see the belly rise and fall, not the chest. Somewhere between infancy and adulthood, most people lose this. The chest takes over. The breath speeds up. The nose gets bypassed. Psychiatrist and breathing researcher Patricia Gerbarg has found that slow nasal breathing at around 5 to 6 breath cycles per minute activates the vagus nerve, the long wandering nerve that connects your brain to your heart, lungs, and gut. Vagal activation triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the one your body uses for rest, digestion, and recovery. Your heart rate variability improves, cortisol drops, inflammation decreases. In other words, slowing your breath down does not just feel calming. It biochemically shifts your body out of a stress state. 6 breath cycles per minute. That is roughly a 5-second inhale followed by a 5-second exhale. Researchers call this resonance frequency breathing, and it has shown measurable effects on anxiety, depression, PTSD, and cardiovascular health. So here is the mirror your ancestors would hold up to you. For almost all of human history, chronic mouth breathing was rare. The pressures of survival, Physical exertion, cold air, the need for silence while hunting kept nasal breathing dominant. The shift happened with the softening of modern diets, the rise of processed foods that change the shape of human jaws, the reduction of physical demands on the body, and the explosion of chronic stress that keeps millions of people locked in a shallow, rapid, chest-centered breath. You were built for something slower, something deeper, something quieter. Tonight, before you sleep, close your mouth. Breathe in through your nose for 5 seconds. Let your belly expand first, then your chest. Breathe out through your nose for 5 seconds. Let everything release. Do that 10 times. You have been breathing 20,000 times a day your entire life. 10 of them, done right, might change everything.